I'm your host, Samuel T. Wood, your president. That's right, president of the league. Also your VP of media, newly appointed, reappointed, and of course your inaugural league champion. And to my right, I have the commish, Simon the Analyst K, joining us again for our show. We're going to run through, at the midpoint now, just over midpoint, we're going to run through the season. We're going to look at some of the storylines from the league this year. And we're also going to review next week's game. Just a quick mention of our sponsor. This week we are sponsored by Evian.
Evian, get yourself some water.
Decent. And we are going to review those games. Now should we start with the season or should we start with the games?
Yeah, let's go with the season.
Let's go with the season.
We're at the halfway point.
I think it'd only be fair if we start with some positive stuff for once.
Yep, work away.
We're going to start with Craig Turbo Willis.
Unbelievable scenes.
It's fantastic.
Unbelievable.
I've got to say, it's good to see. It's nice to have someone else at the top, apart from a 6'3" twat. But it's great.
Yeah, I remember laughing at him during the draft, but he's pulled it out.
We're not laughing.
No idea now how, but he's done a decent job.
Well, I think he's had a pickup to end all pickups in JHI.
Yeah.
I think that'll.
It's one of the better waiver wire pickups.
He'll ride that through. But credit where credit's due, he's top of the table, and I don't see any trouble at the moment ahead for him. Really,
I think he's a game clear. He's doing well. He's rolling.
Yeah. We're looking at a strong favourite here early doors. Can he keep it up? That is the question. Let's move on. Let's move on to something slightly more negative now. I think we need to talk about Charles Smith. I think it needs to be said. I think it needs to be put out there. Obviously, on a personal level, I'm very disgruntled with him over the botched trade attempts for a certain wide receiver who I won't mention on this video. Probably because I'll just end up talking about it for about 10 minutes. But he rejected that trade. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Feelings are still there. It still stings a little bit.
It stings, and if it wasn't for a right pick, it wouldn't have happened. So I'm not happy with the commissioner. But the most disappointing thing is he's full of excuses, full of hot air.
I don't think there even are excuses.
I just hear
inexcusable.
Germany doesn't have internet. Was one last year.
Hatfield doesn't have internet.
Now it's Hatfield doesn't have internet. Can you look at your team? Can you do a waiver pickup? Is there any
danger? Like
Charles
just doesn't have a brain.
I feel like.
Have you ever seen football?
Yeah. I feel like he's letting himself down. He's letting his country down. He's letting his mother down. Exactly. More importantly,
Doris will be disappointed.
Yeah, it is disappointing.
It's embarrassing that little brother.
This is a call out.
Is better.
Yeah, this is a call out. This is a call out. Let's see some waiver wires at least. Let's see some trade attempts.
There's no effort.
There's no effort. There's nothing. It's incredibly disappointing to see, and something's got to change soon, I think.
Agreed.
Moving on. Let's move on to something different. Let's move on to someone who's struggling, and that person would be Andrew Brunning to start with. I think
That's interesting.
We're going to talk about these struggles as someone who's always been rather, in my opinion, what's the word I'm looking for? A cunt.
Okay. That's fair.
In the league chat, he's gone awfully quiet. I don't hear very much from him anymore.
Yeah, it's been quiet in the group chat this year. Big Mouth Wood has disappeared, so it's sort of
a personal choice.
That rivalry between Brunning and Wood
There's no rivalry. We're pretty evenly matched. But there's no rivalry there. My team's better than his. It always has been. He got lucky once.
Okay, but
once.
Yeah, that's this sort of.
He struggles. He's 4-5. He's quiet. His team's a mess.
We went all in on the Saints. Kobe Fleener hasn't worked out. Brandon Cooks hasn't really worked out.
He's had a couple of big lucky plays, big boom plays.
Week 1 he looked good and is then gone.
And I think we've got to say, if you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. You've got to be ready to go even when you're struggling. You've got to be bulletproof at this point if you're going to talk that much and have a plan of attack. And I don't think he's got any plan. I think he's just on a whim and a prayer. Last year he got a couple of lucky pickups. And
I think he's hoping he can get into the tournament and then see what happens from there.
Which is desperate.
Very Giants-esque.
Well, at least we make the playoffs.
It's fair enough.
Moving on, I think we should talk about the Toms next.
Yeah, both of them.
Tio and
impressive season so far.
Yeah, I think they're pretty much in the same boat at the moment.
Fairly similar standards.
Couple of missed opportunities. Obviously, Tom having the second overall pick, he's going to be kicking himself.
Seems to have fluffed it.
Yeah, I
Zeke
think
was there. Well, everyone was there.
well, everyone was there except DJ. So I think he's fluffed that, but he did what the consensus said, and he's the problem with Tom Smith is he won't do anything outside of.
He's not willing to take any risks.
There's no
to try
risk
and-
whatsoever. There's no
to try and
trade
save
coming.
it.
There's no the waiver pickups are very dull, very scripted.
He's had trade opportunities to get some new, better players.
Oh,
Potentially
that's
some
interesting news.
higher
Ooh.
rated players than what he has at certain positions. But
That's interesting. His
fell on
his
deaf
trade
ears,
offers are
unfortunately.
always ridiculous. He's incredibly safe, incredibly dull.
Dreamer.
Maybe he needs to go to church and get some kind of guidance
Needs
because
to praise.
yeah,
Some help from the fantasy football gods. That's for
because
sure.
he's not great. It's not looking good. Let's move on to another person that's struggling, and that would be yours truly. Some would say I'm struggling. I have a different opinion of it, but we can discuss that. My team's 4 and 5, same as Andrew's, and we've just said he was struggling. I think I'm in a slightly different situation where I've had a lot of injuries, and one of my guys is coming back now. One of my important players, sort of a 4th, 5th round draft pick up there, and my wide receivers have been banged up to say the least.
Yeah, injuries have taken its toll.
And my
but
tight end's coming back now, Tyler Eifert, and I've got Jimmy coming into the 4. I think my team's on the rise. And I think if I make the playoffs, I'm going to be a challenge at least. I need to have a great week if I'm in the semi or the final to win it. I know that already, but I'm a 99% playoff.
It's interesting. Both of you have struggled to put points on the board this year, and that's the
That's
game.
not true.
That's the game.
I've outscored Andrew.
By 12 points.
That's an outscore. That's
You're both 200 points
Donald
below
Trump won
myself.
by how many percent in the election last night, Simon? It's not about points, it's about winning, and that's what we'll do. We're going to make.
You haven't been winning this season. That's the thing.
We're
Because you haven't
making-
had the points.
I'm 4 and 5. I had a shocking
Good.
start. I agree. My start was awful, but since we've decided to make this league great again, it's been a wonderful thing. It's been a wonderful. It's going to be beautiful at the end of it.
Okay, next question.
Last person we've got to talk about is, of course, Psyche.
Yeah,
Yours
the
truly, the
analyst.
commish.
But
I
I'm
think-
crunching the numbers.
Sire's going to come at you now with a couple of statistics. He's an analyst. He's always been like this. Let's just remind ourselves of his
Data.
first 3 years. Abysmal, abysmal, and abysmal.
First year wasn't abysmal.
You got lucky to be
second
third.
year was abysmal. Third year, average. So, bit inconsistent.
He talks the talk of an analyst, but he can't deliver.
I like that. Yeah. I feel pretty comfortable with my season. A few disappointing losses, but overall I'm pretty happy. Disappointed with DeAndre Hopkins. That one stings a little bit.
What's happened there? I'm interested.
Thanks, Brock Osweiler.
Not scoring, not putting up points. There's a trade opportunity by the sounds of it there for
Well, I'm stacked at running back, so
Speed Water. So what are you looking for? Stop Will coming in. So we're gonna fuck off. Do the video. You've killed the video. 8 minutes 20 in. You've killed it.
Pause it. We'll cut.